Alright guys, welcome back to another channel episode. Remember, this is the channel where we talk all about how you don't need to be a CEO in order to have some impact on the world. And wow, was that a mouthful. This week we're going to be talking a little bit about things that happened in the last 2 weeks because I didn't make a video last week. Apologies about that. I was going to get something done and that didn't end up happening. And then I'm going to also talk a little bit about the future and what challenge I'm going to go on next. So let's just start with what happened last week and the previous challenge, and then go on to the next challenge I'm going to be doing and the next stuff I'm going to be learning with you guys. So last time I was doing a Tensorflow certification, and 2 weeks ago I made a video about how it came time to take the test and finally go through with that. And so I paid for the exam. I read, the handbook one last time right before I was going to take it. And the day before, my monitor for my computer, my desktop, where I was going to take the test, exploded. By exploded, I mean like the screen just kind of like bloop, like just popped in a way that, it just died. The screen just absolutely died. It was a very sudden thing of like all the pixels just like dying and then gone, black screen. It won't even turn on now. So I'm dealing with that. And that kind of made it so that I was kind of questioning how I should take the exam. So maybe I should take it on a laptop or something. And so that's what I started trying to do. I started to try to take it on my laptop, and then just as I expected, it wasn't going to run. It needs to install TensorFlow in order to run the exam. A little bit of how that works. You have to install pycharm. You have to get pycharm all settled, and then when you're about to take the exam, you have to download a plugin, and that plugin then will set up your environment. And the problem is, with my laptop, I have to run a certain type of TensorFlow, and unfortunately that program doesn't install the right version, and there's no way to change that. So that kind of made it so that I couldn't take the exam last week. And so therefore I didn't make a video talking about how that all ended up, right? So I still plan on taking it maybe next weekend. I'm thinking of just going to Best Buy, buying a screen just to take that exam. Because honestly, I didn't really need a screen until that one broke. So I'm kind of pressed for time and money right now. So I'm just going to go off and maybe potentially just get a screen for the exam and then return it. Or I might just get a friend to either let me borrow their computer or something like that. But unfortunately, that's what happened the last week. And now, looking into the future, I'm just going to pretend like we did the TensorFlow exam and that went well. I continued studying a little bit last week and getting really deep into some NLP, trying to get the best models I can, and got that saved up. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about pre-test kind of strategies I had going into the TensorFlow certification in another video when I actually pass it, because I don't want to tell you guys things that don't end up happening the way I want them to, right? Don't want to fail the test and be like, oh yeah, this is how I did it. No. But for the future, I think the next challenge I'm going to be doing and the things that I'm going to be kind of researching this week is I'm thinking about taking a class, and it's funny because you actually can use pycharm for this class. That's how I found out about it. It's called algorithmic toolbox, and it's basically, I'm not sure if it's only for data scientists, but I think it's just like 52 really, really, really common algorithms and how to solve them, how to get to them, and all the work that goes into that, stress testing, debugging, and working with algorithms. And it's this class taught on Coursera. And so I think I'm going to do that in conjunction with using pycharm in the meantime to kind of make sure that I understand how to use pycharm for the TensorFlow certification. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing next week. And next week, I'll probably make a video talking about whether or not if I got the screen and I'm going to be able to take the TensorFlow certification test soon or not. And also an update on how my first week taking that course went. I'm going to give you the links down below talking about kind of how I'm going to set up my notes and where the course is located so you guys can check it out. It's called Algorithmic Toolbox. I forget what school offers it. And I'm going to be using pycharm to do all my work and my debugging and things like that to get, used to pycharm. And that's kind of what I've been dealing with recently. I know it's kind of a weird update. Not really anything new learned. I could make a video about a little bit what I learned making new models with TensorFlow and NLP, but I'm just gonna skip it because it wasn't really focused learning like usual weeks, and so I'm not gonna bore you with details. But that's kind of the update, and that's all I got for you right now. Check the links below for both my notes on TensorFlow and my notes on the new algorithm course that I'm going to be taking. And yeah, I'll see you next week, hopefully with much better news. All right, see you.